It's 9 o'clock.
君安可以开始，君安。
Okay, it's live
OK，
now.
开始了哈。
开始了。
OK。Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, my friends. Welcome to ABF Online Talk, Passion for Birding. February is the month of Birdfairs. We work with WBC, the World Birdfairs Council, talking about story of birdfairs in the world. Today, we're talking about Cambodia Bird Fair. And it's really our honor to have our speaker, Johnny. Johnny is known.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Johnny is a hardworking man, but seldom does he attend the ABF. And Johnny is a popular figure in Cambodia. Speaking of birding, he's well, let me give a brief introduction of Johnny. Johnny is a premier conservationist and a sustainable ecotourism developer in Cambodia. He used to work for Vietnam for Wildlife Conservation, based in Siem Reap, where it won the Gold World Responsible Tourism Award of the Royal Government of Cambodia. Now he's the president of Cambodia Bird Guide Association, known as the CBGA, and leading best bird guides in Cambodia to conserve birding sites and develop birding tourism. And he's really popular now. And Johnny has attended the ABF since the third ABF in Thailand, right? That's in 2012.
Yes.
Okay, and then he has always wanted to have an ABF in Cambodia ever since. And he did it in 2018. So Johnny is a sound doer. And Johnny, we're all ears to your story of the Cambodia Bird Fair. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everybody. So can I start now?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everybody. So can I start now? Share screen. Oh.
Sorry? Good.
Okay. So thank you so much for your participation today, friends all across the world. So my presentation today is going to talk about the Cambodia Bird Fair, which mentioned by Victor. So I'm going to say it's CBF for short one. So yeah. So why CBF? The reason why we created the CBF, the Cambodia Bird Fair, is it is a not-for-profit event and created to influence the young generation in the conservation work and educate the people through activities during the event. At the same time, to promote the hard works from both the government and NGOs regarding the conservation and protection of wildlife and habitats to the publics. You know why? Because Cambodia, they do not understand about the conservation. They have been influenced by the war, killing all wildlife in the country just for surviving. And some people are addicted to the killing of the wildlife, addicted to wild bushes, obviously bush meats. So this is why we need to change the mind. And I have thought from the beginning, by the time we have the CBF, I always think that only the education will change the mind of the young generation. Otherwise, their parents will influence their mind and continue killing all the wildlife and destroy all the habitats again. So who created the CBF? So the four guys, the one in the middle here, Mr. Birdfsairs, is the country director from BirdLife International for Cambodia program. And the guy is from Pochai, is very talented young man. And this one, Mr. Madi Suong, he's from Ministry of Environment. He is very enthusiastic on having the event in Cambodia. So let me share some history of how this is formed. Um, as I said, I've been wanting to have ABF or any type of the similar events in Cambodia for education. But by 2017, there were no support from any other country. So after that, when I quit the job with the Song Vietnam Center, then I work part-time for BirdLife International for Cambodia program. And Vosa asked me to lead the young guys to join the bird race in Malaysia, in Fraser's Hill. And then I started to share my comments and also my idea that I want to have this. And then Mahdi was really interested in having this event in Cambodia. So he asked me to draft the proposal and go to the Minister of Environment. But I was so late that time because so busy. Until 2018 at Ulsan for I think the 8th Asian Bird Fair, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 8th Asian Bird Fair. So Marty was really upset with me because I spent too much time, but without any outcome from what we discussed. So Chai was saying that he's going to talk to Cindy because he heard that Cindy from China, Chun Chaoxing, I think the name of
Yes, Chun Shaoxing.
He told me that they have the fund to support the bird fair in international country. So after the event, I was so happy because Cindy came and talked to Pochai. She's very committed to support us. So we say that we're going to have this the next year, which is 18 in March, the 19 of March 2018. So after that, this is the table that we discussed in Ulsan. After that, we started drafting all these letters, the Viet one in the left, and proposal to the Ministry of Environment. He agreed to have the event, and then we didn't even have the names of the event. So this is the so-called that we just say, let's say this, which is Cambodia Bird Fair. And we didn't have the logo. Very short because after the bird fair in Ulsan was in November, and then we have only December, Jan, and Feb, 3 months to prepare everything. And it's not really small event to me because it's the first time for us to organize. It's such a big one, even bigger than the bird fair in the ABF in Singapore. Some time ago, I forgot the year. So I started to draft the look like a dinosaur. This one, actually, I wanted to draw the image of giant ibis, but I'm not good at drawing it. So we have this, and we have the logo here, just drafting. So the circle C for Cambodia. And because of we believe in our ancestor, we believe that our ancestor was from Naga, or we call the dragon, or the big snakes. So this is why we have this head. And actually it is called a flaming motif. The reason why we have a flaming motif, because we believe that, not believe that the flaming motif represent the everlasting growing. Like here. So complicated, but the final one here on the right that we are using right now. And after that, we have the logo and we have everything. We have to split team. With the 4 of us, 3 living in Phnom Penh, which is 16 kilometers away from me. So I can't help them in the ground. So all the paperwork, design, and everything will come to me. And the official work would go to Suong Mardi, and funding would go to Bosa and Pochai. So they have lots of meetings, and also they have big committees, 3 main committee and probably 60 members, 60 people in the committees, but only few people work. I'm sorry to say that, but that's true. So yeah, so meetings. And this is the first 1 week before the event began. So I decided to go to Phnom Penh and stay in the guest house next to the event ground and help Madi to set up the ground. And we work day and night, never stop, just like I think the ABF committee know it very well. So at last we have all the booths set up, we have all the ground cleared, we have the paperwork in place, we have the invitation, we have the booth, the presentation, everything, we have it booked. And this is the part of the success story. The picture will tell you how the event goes and how it succeeded. So many public people came to the event, but most of them, they thought that the bird fair would have the real birds in the cage showing all the kids and all the people. And then but they were very disappointed because they didn't see any picture, didn't see the birds or any real birds, but just a picture and people displaying all along the booth. But yeah, that's the first start, and then we explaining. So the second bird fair, we didn't have the people expected that because they have it in mind that although the bird fair would just show the picture and telling the story of how people conserve wildlife. That's all. So during the time, we also provide the birding gears to schools children. Unfortunately, we didn't have the follow-up protocol to follow and to check how they use the gear and what the improvement of the birding experience they have. And this is the open ceremony and dinner, welcome dinner. The end of the first day, the end of the bird fair. James and Her Excellency Lina. And the picture of children participating in the event, drawing the pictures of bird painting. The happy life. This is the last of the, before the CBF finished, we discussed the possibility to have the ABF in Cambodia. So actually I'm trying to chase this to bring the ABF to Cambodia, but I don't know why every year, every time I might try, always fail. So I think that ABF would come to Cambodia in 2020, but then the pandemic just came ahead. And then this is the new team for the second bird fair. The man in the middle is the big boss. He's very enthusiastic and very committed to support either the ABF and also the CBF. He works a lot. And this is the guy that I met him yesterday because he was very keen to have the ABF in Cambodia. And his voice is loud too. So because we have some budget left for the ABF, but we didn't do it, and the government cut off 50% of the budget, so we have little of the fund. Then we need to have the bird fair. They said they want to cancel, but I told them that no, we have to do something, otherwise the government would say, okay, we don't need this anymore because you only do one and you never do it again. So we decided to do it even small, but we need to do it. And this time, the kid has the real life of bird watching rather than the first bird fair. We only have pictures of birds hiding in the bush and ask the kids to go and find the picture and write down the names to come to us, and then they get the prize. But this time the kids go directly to the field with the gears, and then they recorded all the birds names that they found, they observed. We have two big buses actually, which is probably, yeah, 80 students. And during the events, I could see that the publics would come, and then they watch the image or the picture we have display and the information on the picture. And they asking the question where the birds are and how we conserve the birds and how they nest. So all these information are important, and I think this is the first, the beginning or initiatives of the influence over the killing mind. And we have all the telescopes along the ground event to show people who are really keen on seeing birds. And the kids, the family, they bring the young kids, little kids to have the drawing, painting, just busy 3 days of the event. And we offer the colorful picture book to different booths so that they can remember wildlife, not just birds, all the wildlife. And this is His Excellency, but now he left, he moved to the next level, even higher. He also very committed to support the ABF. And this is the governor, the provincial governor. He also very supportive too. But now he moved to, he changed the role, changed the province, because every 2 years the government, they rotate the officer. And he learned to DT scoping, opening ceremony with the signing from the big bosses. And all the participants I'd say, the support to the CBF, they will give the certificate of appreciation, and not to the people personal directly, but to the organization. And here are some pictures of birds in Cambodia, the Bengal Florican, which is the critically endangered one, nearly extinct in the wild. At the moment, probably only 800 individuals left, and Cambodia hold probably 400 individuals in of the birds. And the white-shouldered ibis. So only Cambodia at the moment that we can see these birds easily. And the Saurus strain, I know that also available in other countries. But yeah, this one, we believe it's extinct in the wild back in 2007. But then Mr. Somvisna, he found it 18 nests at Angtapang Mall. So this is why the conservation of the Saurus strain began again. And one of the endemic of Cambodia, the Cambodian laughing thrush. I went to the mountain just to observe this bird and to help the community reform the way of ecotourism that really damaged the nature at the moment. So we try to change the way of they implement the ecotourism in a mountain. So that's all my presentation today, and thank you so much for your patience. If you have the question, please ask.
Right. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much. It's a very short presentation, but you know, there was lots of work behind organizing a bird fair. It's never easy. And there's so many detailed things to arrangement, so many connections, to be done. So once again, thank you, Johnny. It's a great job. And
Thank you.
you organize only in 3 months. I mean, this is really amazing.
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah. So what's the most difficult thing you ever faced organizing a bird fair in Cambodia?
Uh, Actually, for technical, in technical, it's okay because I've learned a lot from ABF, so I don't think it's difficult for me to arrange. But the most difficult things to me is the teamwork with the government. So we need to balance everything, especially when we work with the budget from China. So it's very challenging. So we need to balance between, especially for international correspondent and something. I don't know if I'm using the right word. Yeah, but yeah, that's the most important one. And when I say teamwork, because some people they have no experience on organizing the event like this, so they just come and then sometimes they stop us from doing this, from doing that, and it takes a lot of time. So we want to move together. So we try to balance. We try to negotiate to find the middle way to go all together. And from this organizing from this event, we learn that having the big head and small body is very difficult. So this is why for the second bird fair, second CBF, we have smaller head and we have the bigger body. Then the achievement is a bit higher,
Okay.
and it's not so complicated to deal with too. Yeah.
Hmm. So what about the third CBS? When is it?
We plan to do it in July this year
Hmm.
in one of the province in the northwest of Cambodia,
Hmm.
along the Thai border. Yesterday, the provincial governor was very supportive in the meeting, so he really wants to have this event in his province. And this province is one of the, I would call, the key conservation area with lots of conservation, no, protected area in the province. And loggings is also part of the big problem there. And the young generation, they don't care about conserving nature life, but just, I said, killing all the caterpillar, what are the slingshots, and also some rifles, not the right one, but probably I use the word rifles because they make it by themselves. I don't know how to call it. Yeah. So
Homemade
they're
rifle.
killing. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But we haven't fixed the date, which date of the of July yet. But we have prepared all the things that from today. I have checked all the gears and all the tools and we have prepared for it.
Yeah. Are you
Mostly,
inviting international delegates?
we're not sure yet
Okay.
for this because the government say we cannot do anything related to international for now because they really care about the pandemic. So probably yes and probably no. It depends on how it goes because still 3 4 months to go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mike.
Yeah. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, the first step is always the most difficult. And since you've joined the Asian Bird Fair quite a few times, and you get to meet a lot of people, I think it was easier for you to invite the foreign bird clubs to the first Cambodia Bird Fair. But I see you have a lot of stands. What were the local organizations you invited, and how did you convince them to join you?
Ah, because I could not hear you clearly, Mike.
Okay,
It's cut off sometime.
okay. What were the local NGOs that joined the Cambodia Bird Fair?
Okay. Most of the local NGO are, we don't really have the small local NGO, but actually international NGOs that lived in that worked in Cambodia, like WCS, which is Wildlife Conservation Society, WWF, BirdLife, FFI, Wildlife Alliance, are all the big organization for conservation, and very few local organization or bird clubs in Cambodia who are working on conservation.
Okay,
I would say just two of us, two of the local organization at the moment, just the SVC, the Somishna Center, and the Cambodia Birdfairs Association, who works on conservation, yeah, something, yeah. The rest they work on alternative livelihood, like they try to encourage or improve the genders and such. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
guess that's the most difficult part, because there are not enough local organizations to support you, or local sounds to reflect, what you are doing. And I wonder, what about the result of the first CBF? I mean, what about the response of the participants or the audience?
Most of the audiences respond with the positive. Yes, they love as I said, they like the events, and also from the first to the second bird fair, we could see that they understand how the bird fairs goes. And when they came to the bird fair, they go in like because the first one they learn how they go to different booths talking and learning, and then they know that they understand that the bird fair is good for the young kids, so they bring their kids to join and listen to the presentation from the experts, and also let the kids play and painting, understanding about the birds. And this is what I think is positive. And one of the main achievement for the Asian for the bird fair, the CBF, is that the government actually the minister of Ministry of Environment recognized the models of CBF, and he informed the Department of Education and Public Awareness that they should use this model for the bird fair and create other things similarly just for education. So this is what to me I feel like it's a big achievement.
Yeah, but it was in the first. It was in Phnom Penh, right?
Yes.
What about the third? Because it'll be far away from Phnom Penh.
It's I have no idea. I have no idea. But the idea of having bird fair or CBF in Cambodia is to go to different provinces every year, just like the
Okay.
style. Yeah, just like a style of the ABF. We
Hmm.
never want to stay in a single place.
Hmm.
So because we need to educate more people. So if we just keep it doing at the same place, then it's useless to me. Yeah. So this is why I say go to different area, different part of the country every year.
That's great. It's just very ambitious, but it's really good. Yeah. Mike, do you still have questions? Mike?
Mike is muted.
Hello, Mike.
No question on Facebook yet.
Okay. Right. So, what about the ABF? Because you said that you still have some money, left last time for ABF, so you will use the money on CBF this year. But are you planning to do ABF in like 2023 or in the future?
We all have ADF in mind. We never abandon the ADF the plan, but we cannot tell you right now, say 23 or 24. It depends on the government budget. So we try to get as much as possible from the government to support to sponsor this. We can probably find the supporter, the private sectors from private sectors, but to influence this, we need the government to participate. So this is why we need more budget from the government, and otherwise it doesn't work. It doesn't last long.
Okay, so budget-wise, how much is enough for organizing ABF in Cambodia?
Last time we had about 30K, like we planned, but I know you probably know that 30K is not enough. You probably see how the invitation goes to very limited on spending. So by the time of having um, the pandemic, we plan to have more than that. We want to have at least 70K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people. I learned from you actually. So every time you organize the ABF, it's very expensive. So this is why I don't plan it big, but as long as I have it more, then it's very secure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Janice. It's really a big job for you. So, can we talk about birding in Cambodia? How popular now in Cambodia, and how well are you ready for the visiting birders, international birders?
The question again, please. Sorry,
I mean,
I don't get you.
yes, this go back to birding. I mean, how well are you prepared for inviting international birders to Cambodia? I know
You mean after pandemic?
yeah, after pandemic, yes, I know you have bird guys. About what about the training of bird guys or uh, the the, the birding sites, those things.
Actually, we are ready for now. Every nearly every week we have at least 2, 3 international groups visiting Cambodia, and our guys work every week, so it's okay. Not as many as before 2019, but yes, we still have many.
But what about quarantine? Are you still, do they have to take quarantine when they arrive in Cambodia?
It depends on how the first test when the at the arrival at the airport. If you get the first day, we call the what we call it, so the rapid test, and
PCR.
it showing a rapid test with negative, and then you don't have to do the quarantine. But if you get the positive from the rapid test, then you have to do the quarantine for 7 days. That's all.
Okay.
And most people coming to Cambodia, they have the certificate of vaccination, and also the test is like always negative, so they can go. They can travel around the country easily.
Wow. We sure can do that in Taiwan too.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the moment, our guy works every week, at least 4 days a week. So so they quite easy. Not really not the same with 2019 and 2020.
Right. So, are there any questions for Johnny?
From the group.
Yeah, from the group about CBF, about ABF in Cambodia, or about birding in Cambodia? Cambodia is a nice country, you know, besides the Angkor Wat. You know, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm sorry
Paul.
that I arrived a bit late today. How safe is it to go around on your own in Cambodia
Hmm.
for a foreigner? Foreigner doesn't speak language, doesn't know the habits. Is it safe to go see nature areas?
It's okay, but you know, agri protected area in Cambodia is still limited to very restricted to foreigners. I can't really explain you why, because it's part of something like a politics probably, or but the only thing I have in mind right now is the security, because of they cannot control of the illegal activities in the forest, so they cannot guarantee that you go and those people, the illegal people would say you are the like the journalist or something, then probably they fear and they might end up people might be killed sometimes. So this is the only thing that I have in mind. So I'm not sure. Yeah. But every time you go to this is the reason why we have our organization. We actually don't really just give the tour, but because of we know that without our enhancement, the people cannot go and see all those birds. Not it's totally different from Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Taiwan and such country, because the government has a lot of money and they prepare the infrastructure, very nice infrastructure, and the gates and everything. So people just go by themselves. But in Cambodia, you have lots of preparation and logistics. For example, going to see the Cambodia laughing thrush. You need lots of arrangement. And mostly all the tour we work, we tied or combine it with the conservation. For example, like the vulture restaurants, people can just go and explore whether they see the vulture or not. But to make it profitable to the conservation, not to the organization, but to the conservation and to the vulture, we need people to pay for the carcass so that the vulture can eat. So the government doesn't have money to support this, but the organization, international organization like BirdLife, WCS, and for us, the small local NGO, we have to support this every month to the vulture. Even without the tour season, without the visitors, we have to give the vulture twice a month for the food. So we kill the cow every 2 weeks. So this is part of the reason I have in mind to explain you.
Yeah, you need local guys to help you
Yeah,
to watch birds. But generally, is it safe traveling in Cambodia?
sure. We have never had any accident for foreigner got killed by anybody. Yeah. They
Oh,
actually they like we call the barang, which is like the foreigner for or the white people they call barang. So they don't really feel bad about having the foreigners in the country, but only like people who in the forest, like illegal loggers probably or hunters. We're not sure about that, but we never have any accident.
okay. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Are there more questions for Johnny?
What about Johnny?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry to ask you this question. See, Cambodia last time due to war, they may have a lot of landmines, all over the place. So when these birders going to the jungles or what, is it? I mean, would there be there's a safety issue here? Is it been looked into?
Yes. It's a good question. Normally, we don't take people to the landmine area. And landmine area at the moment only along the border with Thailand. and about 80% of the total country land has been cleared. So don't worry about that. And this is why you need the guide to go along with you because they know where the landmines are and where not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what is the cost, let's say, doing birding in Cambodia for about 10 days? What is the cost like in roughly estimate?
This is not my skill. I'm so sorry. I don't really know how to calculate that how much did you spend because I only work on mainly I focus on the conservation part. So
Oh, I
I
see.
have my team to deal with this. Yeah. So I never involved with this. But
Okay.
roughly, you probably spend more than, it depends on the tour you want to go. Like if you go to the virtual restaurant, it will be very expensive because of you spend a lot of, at least you spend like 600 USD to the carcass. That's just directly, yeah. So if you go for like 1 day, not 1 day, 2 days for the virtual restaurant, you spend more than maybe 1,000 plus something because it's like that. It's very expensive with the car, with all the guys, arrangement and everything. It's very expensive. But if you go for day trip, like the places that you don't have to spend too much, like going to Pretor, go to ATT on land, it's not so expensive. So
Okay.
I would say it depends on the sites. Yeah.
So we will post Johnny or the Cambodian Bird Guide Association the email address on Facebook. So if you have any interest to go birding in Cambodia, please contact them directly. Use the email addresses. So Johnny will do that later. To post
Thank you, Victor. Thank you.
this on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Before we go on, let's take a group photo now. Okay. Right. Richard, Alang Tan.
Hey, Rajendra, you
Hello,
so
Mr.
quiet.
Sorry, I don't have the mic. Yeah, please excuse me.
Mr. Tang.
Sorry, organizer, I don't have the mic with me. Sorry, the
Okay.
camera. Yeah, my apologies.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah. So,
Okay.
gentlemen, please look at the camera and smile and don't move. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much. Right.
Thank you.
Let's have more questions for Johnny.
Scott.
So, we've done 4 episodes talking about bird fairs in February. Starting from the introduction of World Birdfairs Council, the story of ABF, the story of ABE, and today the last episode in February, the Cambodian Bird Fair. So next month in March, we go back birding, and remember that we did birding in January, from East Asia. We invited speakers from Hokkaido, Japan, the mainland Japan, and Okinawa, Japan. And the last speaker was the Kyungman talking about birding in Korea. And next month, let's go back birding, and we have invited 3 speakers talking about their experience birding in Taiwan. So Taiwan is a nice birding country, believe me, because I live here for more than 60 years. And Mac has been there, Andrew has been there, most people have been there, right? And Scott,
Excellently right.
So we guarantee you. But we listen to people, when they go birding in Taiwan, and share their experiences with us next week on the 4th of March. So thank you, Johnny, again for sharing your amazing story of Cambodia Bird Fair, some hard work behind there, so keep good things up, and keep working on it. And you have us to support you. So anytime, just let us know, Bom. We'll be there to support you. Thank you, Johnny, again. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Next week,
Thank you, Johnny.
on Friday next week.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you, Johnny.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Next
have a
week.
nice weekend.
Okay.
You too.
Bye bye.
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 Bye.